She walked around bored and frustrated. There was no one to talk to, no one to admire her outfit, no one to gossip with, no one to play with, no one to distract her from the long, quiet day ahead. Amaka sighed deeply. "This village is suffocating me," she murmured. After pacing around for hours, she finally made a decision. "Let me go and visit my mother's people. At least my cousins know how to enjoy life." She rushed back home and picked her small bag, wore her best dress and slippers, and set off toward the road that led to her maternal village. She didn't know it yet, but her decision to leave home that morning was about to change her life in a way she never expected. When Amaka arrived at her maternal village, she didn't hide her excitement. Her cousins ran to her immediately, hugging her, touching her hair, and they liked her dress, and shouting her name like she was a superstar. Even the cousins who came from the city for the holidays welcomed her warmly. The compound was full of laughter, noise, and stories. For the first time in a long while, Amaka felt alive. That evening was sweet. The girls danced, gossiped, played games, and cracked jokes until their grandmother shouted for them to keep quiet. Amaka looked around happily and thought, "Maybe I don't need to go back home soon." The next morning was even sweeter. By the time Amaka woke up, the whole compound was already clean. Her cousins had swept, cooked, and arranged everywhere before sunrise. Amaka blinked in surprise. You people finished everything?" she asked. Her youngest cousin smiled. "Yes, we always do our morning work early." Amaka laughed and sat down comfortably as they served her breakfast. Her heart melted. "This is the life I want." She was so happy, she said proudly. "Waking up late, eating good food, and enjoying myself." Her cousins only smiled. Later in the afternoon, they all gathered under a big tree. They sat on mats, eating roasted maize and chatting. Then one of her cousins, Nkechi, said, "I have a storybook. Should I read for us?" She ran inside, brought the book, and began reading. Amaka's mouth slowly fell open. Her eyes widened. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. All her cousins, every single one, could read. They even argued about words, corrected each other, laughed over big English, and turned the pages like it was nothing. To Amaka it was like magic. In her father's village, nobody could read. Amaka had never touched a real storybook in her life. She felt something she had never felt before. Small. Later that evening, she pulled Nkechi aside shyly. "Please, can you teach me to read and write?" Amaka asked. Her voice was soft, almost embarrassed. Nkechi smiled kindly. "Of course. We will teach you." Little by little, they all agreed to help her learn. And for the next few days, Amaka practiced, sounding out letters, tracing words with her finger, and repeating sentences until her tongue hurt.